After a long day of being pulled in every direction, the last thing anyone wants to think about is what's for dinner. That's where Schwann's can help, with a variety of real food choices, frozen to lock in freshness. From ready-made meals, premium meats and side dishes, to vegetables, ice cream, and more. Schwann's foods go from freezer to table in minutes, not hours, so you can pull off a delicious meal in no time at all. Ordered, delivered, done. That's homemade easy. To help simplify mealtime, visit schwans.com.
Blink and they're gone, to find out who they are without us. All the more reason we come to West Virginia, to introduce them to simple things like rolling hills, secluded lakes, summer campfires, and we hold on to that feeling for as long as we can.
Find your version of heaven at wvtourism.com. Brought to you by the West Virginia Tourism Office, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Second. Start bringing this down. Here we go. This is Jim the Keys bartender coming to you from the Blackwater Siren. Hope I don't chop it off too much here. I'm here with, I still have a little music playing right here. Maybe I should stop it. I did. I think I'm doing all right job. I did it twice last week.
There you go.
This is episode 86. Bill Wissinger's back from traveling with Sandy to North Carolina?
Yep, Western North Carolina.
Western North Carolina.
Up around Asheville.
Asheville, that's beautiful. Was it cool there?
Yeah, it was nice.
Okay,
it was
yeah.
nice.
Well, it wasn't cool here.
No.
It was pretty much what you feel here. It's fucking hot.
It's July and
it was busy as shit. Well, you know, you were here this weekend.
Yeah.
You came back this weekend. I wanted to...
lobster minnow season's coming up, so everybody's coming down.
Okay, yeah. Well, we had a very busy weekend down here. I wanted to say, take a couple minutes to say hello to my wife, Abby, my beautiful daughter, Sky, my lovely sister-in-laws, Kasha, Margaret, Yolanda. Yolanda came from here to there. My niece, in-law, niece-in-law, Miriam, and all the guys there, Jessica, Mama, Papa. They arrived last Tuesday after an arduous trip. They had a 2-hour delay going out of Miami. Yeah, and then they
We'll talk about that too.
Well, you can have one too. But they missed they were going much further, so they missed all their connections. They had 2 connections. And when they got there, they were renting a van because Abby was going to a town called San Jeshu on the far southwestern border of Poland near the Ukraine. And the last time we were there was 4 years ago, the same day that Malaysian airline was shot down by the Russian anti-aircraft battery.
Yep.
So that we'll get to a little later on about my feelings about something that happened yesterday. But they were getting a van because Abby has her family.
10 fucking people.
Well, yeah, but she has a condo in central southern Poland, south of Krakow, in the Carpathian Mountains, Zakopane, a beautiful ski resort, and in the summer it's still just as popular with lots of foreign tourists come in, Polish nationals going there, I imagine. But it's in the mountains, and so the first car she got, the van she got, didn't have AC, and the window didn't go down. And the second one, so she's driving around. It's they have upgraded the roads there, so she was really enthused about. It used to take 5 hours to get to her family ancestral home to Zakopane in the mountains, Carpathian Mountains. Now it only takes about 3 hours.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's significant 2 hours difference. But she went to get gas today, and they couldn't get the. And first thing I'm thinking, the way she told me this, I'm thinking they can't figure out how to open up the thing. It wasn't that. But it turns out there a whole bunch of people were helping out. All these guys coming up trying to figure it out, and it turned out that the
cable's broken.
The cable or the electronic release, whatever on it. I think it was a Peugeot van, and the guy had to drive a 4.5 hour one-way trip with a new van to come and think. He thought he was going to be able to fix it and show him out. You dumbass.
Hit
This is how I'm
this
gonna do
button
it.
and-
No, but it wasn't. So this is 2 strikes this guy has.
It's Peugeot.
But I'm telling you, this guy's losing all the money on this rental, I'll tell you that. So I do miss the girls. They're having a good time. And I talked about the exchange rate there. I can't wait to see them. Maybe next week, I think even on this, I think I was able to do during the, or was it on my phone? I think I did it on my phone. A podcast during Irma.
Okay.
Where you and I were talking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it works on the phone. It doesn't work so well. Wait, there's a chat thing right here.
There's a chat thing right there.
On this one.
Yeah.
What's this chat thing?
That's that chat that I found a couple weeks ago.
Okay, well, if anybody's listening, I'm listening. Currently, we don't really advertise that we start at 3:30.
Yeah.
But if they do, and if you go to Spreaker, there is a chat option. If you have any questions, we'll field them. Now we're going to go on to your story.
Well, I was up in Western North Carolina, up in Asheville, visiting Sandy's parents.
Okay.
Was,
and I know you have a really great relationship with Sandy's parents, too.
No, it's the first time I ever met them.
Are you wait, how long have you been together?
6 years.
It's your first time you met them?
Yeah.
I met Abby's parents within 3 months.
Really?
Of, her mother. 3 months of meeting her. And that was 8 down, whatever, in Poland.
There you go. No, I talked to him a bunch on the phone, and we've always had a good time doing that, but put them on speaker and everybody get together. But no, this is the first time I've actually met them.
Yeah.
So we had a good time.
Well, I mean, I imagine 6 years. When someone's in a, exotic place, for me, I guess it's more of a, I don't know, Asheville's exotic, but it is beautiful. I know it is.
It's nice. We were actually
Abby loves that.
We were actually over in Old Fort.
Yeah, Abby loves it, and obviously it's strange. You get people that how we know how the Keys are from everyone. There's a few relatives.
The hippies and hipsters have taken over that damn town.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about not just that, but down here. I imagine they said the same thing. The old conks, used to be just a couple people.
Yeah. Now it's
filled
fucking
everyone.
Up with
No, I'm talking about the Keys.
Oh, no.
And then I'm going to apply. We can apply that to them. The Keys used to be old conks, fishermen. You'd have wealthy people coming down here, Cubans and but then I guess the Keys, probably the big change happened in the 50s or when the highway was finally put in.
Yeah, when they put in one, so you didn't have to
when they put in one.
Wander around Card Sound and all the
it used to be an exclusive place. They had, Key West was at one time was the biggest town in Florida, and it was the capital for a while.
Yeah, a naval base.
Yeah, it was a naval base, but it was the capital too of the state of Florida.
Yeah, that's why it was so big, man.
Yeah. Oh well, it was so big because there was no other fucking developed parts of Florida. Florida was a big. Was a couple, habitable places, but then it was like a big fucking big mosquito nest.
Yeah, St. Augie.
I know, but the rest of it, there was a.
Well, St. Augustine's still a mosquito nest. It's just as bad as the rest.
They were managing it. So, then all the people start moving down here, and then you get every man coming down. You got the hotels, the mom and pops. You got the campgrounds, and get a couple hurricanes. I guess they made it through Andrew. Not a really direct hit. The big hit prior to this was Donna. In the 60s.
60s, I want to say.
And then obviously there was the Labor Day hurricane, but then that was prior to.
That was 19.
Yeah, that was prior to any build up down here. So Donna wasn't in, but Irma was a huge hit. Irma was a huge hit for the Keys.
Yeah.
And
especially the southern middle Keys.
Yeah.
Lower and middle got hammered.
And we are starting to see the effects. But I think the people that come down were getting. I noticed this weekend we started getting the Europeans coming in.
Are we? I hadn't noticed.
Yeah. I noticed the Europeans. I don't see the big people from further away, but Europeans. Maybe some South Americans. It's hard to tell sometimes if it's South Americans or just Cuban Americans.
Guys from Miami.
I know, but there's this different feel for people that come from South America that are coming from those countries than to come from I mean, just the way they are and the kind of wearing soccer shirts and stuff like that.
Oh, half of Miami is Venezuelan now.
Well, I mean, countries do sell. I mean, I imagine 1862 in New York, people would think, well, how fucking different is this than Dublin?
Yep.
You know, when actually probably most of the people didn't come from Dublin. They came from like Podunk part of Ireland, and I'm part Irish American, so I think I should get a pass on that. So, and a huge Jewish community in there, and I'm sure there's parts of New York you would probably say, where the hell am I?
Sure.
You know, you're being one of those
the Jewish,
old Eastern European.
There is very little. There used to be a huge Jewish community, all the delis and everything up in South Beach and that area.
Yeah.
And
Well, you used to say that in Miami. Well, I mean,
but it's gone now,
in the movie Goodfellas. Remember? Okay, so that was set. Goodfellas was set in the '60s, '70s, up until 1980, and I think it was Ray Liotta's wife's name. She's hanging out with all the women. They're getting their facials done and stuff like that. And she said it's all bad skin and polyester and stuff like that. And she goes, "This is up near New York," and they're saying, "Yeah, think about going to Miami. It's like Jewish heaven." You know, I mean, but it was, and there was a TV show on Showtime called Magic City.
I haven't seen that.
It was kind of like the remnants of the Jewish mafia that was still around in the '60s and stuff like that, and not to.
Yeah, man. I admit, man, you can't even go up there and get you used to be able to go up there to half a dozen places and get a, by God, for real pastrami sandwich.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's. Not a bunch of places, but there's always, in a big city, there's always a good place. There's enough Jewish people.
The last one that they got some half-ass place called 2J's now.
Yeah.
But the last one I remember that was a true style one was Wolfie's, and they closed a few years back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would tend to. I would tend to make the case that a really good restaurant, a Jewish deli, has a really broad audience.
Yeah, it does.
I love going to getting one of those fucking sandwiches that are they put. I mean, the meat it's a 5-to-1 meat to bread ratio, and you can't even really bite. Which some people bitch about it and stuff like that. You really, if I can't get both bread on either side, I think they put too much meat. That's too much. I just eat a plate of meat. Just give me a plate of pastrami with the Swiss cheese.
Down, man.
Yeah, well, I like a good Reuben. I'll tell you, I love a good corned beef Reuben. But we still didn't talk about North Carolina. But we're not. You know, it's so different when you're talking to Luke and I'm talking to you. We stay on a straight line, a logic thing like that. So we were talking about the changing population down here. You still have conks down here. They're getting older. The younger ones, they get it's smaller percentage of the population, partly due from the increase of the total population.
Well, I mean, all the kids that grew up down here, they all want to move the hell out. Mm-hmm. There's not a whole lot that want to stay. They want to get the hell out the Keys.
Well, imagine what it was like years ago if you grew up in the Keys. You were a fishing guide and this. Now, you can actually be a lawyer, accountant, computer technology services, much like you do.
Yep.
And the electrical work stuff. So, but yeah, you got the kids moving out, and then you got the people that came down, erstwhile people that come down and find their dreams. And there's certain jobs where you just can't make it do here. And there's a movement. Did I tell you about this guy?
No.
Okay. It may piss off some people I'm associated with in a certain service organization I'm in. Did I mention that thing about the guy he said, yeah, we mentioned that before, about people, before new people move in, you got to check to see if they have the means to evacuate for 3 weeks without making money. And I said, well, you're cutting the whole fucking bottom. Oh, I didn't mention it.
No.
I did it with Luke.
We didn't talk about
okay,
that.
No. Okay, so no. Well, there's a group of people here, and they do a leadership council. I don't want to say it because it's going to piss them off and stuff like that. But it's a group that I think that tries to get everyone on the same page down here and say, this is the kind of laws we're trying to pass in this county and it's trying to do. But I guess there's such a small percentage of people that are business owners that need to get low-wage employees down here that they don't have enough say to present to them. Listen, you're going to change the whole culture down here if you don't have enough. Do you want to have a restaurant? Do you want to have a grocery store? Do you want someone to clean your house? Okay? The person that cleans your house would have to live in a fucking tent. I mean, well, actually, they wouldn't be allowed to live down here.
Yeah. No,
according to the new thing they're talking, they would not be allowed to talk. I think I would barely be able to live down here under those circumstances. And some people talk to me like, they seem to say, hey, we're going to Costa Rica. You want to go? I'm like, fuck, I got to work. And you know what? I'm not bitching about that. This is what I chose to do. If I decided I want to become a real estate agent, I would be a real estate agent. But then I'd have a property on the water, and then I have to say, well, what do you think? Well, you know, in a couple of years, the water's going to be coming up a little more. And like this, and you're going to be flooding regularly. And but otherwise, you know, for a couple of years, I'm going to have to take out a 30-year mortgage. Well, at the end of 30 years, you're not going to be able to sell this at all. Unless you raise it, you know, maybe 10 more feet over.
10 more inches.
Okay, yeah, but it's still a significant thing. It's the cost of the property, and you won't be able to resell it. You know?
Yeah, you will. Dude, when I sold my trailer, it was a dumpy little lot. Guy ended up...
I know, but you're right at the peak. When did you do that? What year?
2004.
Okay, but when did the real estate market peak?
2006.
2007, 2008, it really crashed. Okay, what I'm suggesting, they're saying in the last 10 years...
No, there's actually a point to what I'm saying. The guy ripped my shitty little property out, built a stilt home, boom, put a stilt home there. He's set for the next 30 fucking years.
But the rate of melt, but they're going to have to retrofit all the roads. Okay?
Well,
I'm trying to get people down here before we're underwater. Okay, but try to go to Venice, right? Try to buy an old hotel that their basement's going in there. You know what? Oh, try to buy. Would you want to fucking buy? I mean, try to sell an old hotel.
No, Venice is sinking. Not to mention...
Well, they built it. You know the idea behind Venice. What happened? After the fall of the Roman Empire, and they didn't have the extension of the Roman army to protect it, the citizens of that area retreated to the lagoons because it was hard for people to bring in horses and stuff like that. And they lived in a boggy area that they would, you know, get stuck in. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And then what happens? It's just, and when they built those buildings, they didn't build them in the water. They built them on dry land.
Remember Casino? Bog.
I know they built them on a bog, but it was actually somewhat dry then. They drove really.
Yeah, and it's still all fucking sinking.
Yeah, it is. But you ever seen Casino Royale? The one with Daniel Craig?
No, I've seen the one with
David Niven. Okay. Oh, if you're ever going to see Casino Royale, watch the fucking first 10 minutes of it. It's the best.
No,
parkour. You know what parkour is when they're two guys chasing? It's the best parkour thing you'll ever see.
Last James Bond movie that I saw was probably when Timothy Dalton was doing it.
Oh, but the one down here? Doing License to Kill? License to Kill was done.
License to Kill?
Was the one they here? The one they did.
Was it done here?
Oh yeah, they fucking filmed a bunch of scenes. License to Kill. No, I don't know. I know they did it. The scene where the drug lord escapes out of the armored vehicle by going over the old 7 Mile Bridge, driving it over it, and into the. I don't know if it was Florida Bay or on the other side. I'm trying to think. If they were heading north and they were doing it the right direction, they'd have to be going to Florida Bay, and they allowed them to crash through the barrier or something like that and do that whole thing. And there was a couple bar scenes there, and there was a scene where who was the guy that was in charge of M?
Yeah,
M was the guy in charge. Who was a guy at the time before is the kill, and it was supposedly 2 British Secret Service MI5 guys. MI5 get them and escort them into one of the residences in Key West. And it's supposed to be in Key West. So they got Key West, they got a bar, they got the 7 Mile Bridge, and they got a guy that's doing oceanography stuff down there, all taking place in the Keys.
Okay.
And once again, we still haven't approached North Carolina. And you said, okay, you're talking about Asheville.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of, like, listen.
Yeah, cities, you like hippies.
No. Fucking cities change. Cities change. We got to get some beers.
Yeah, I'll go get some
talk? You want
beers.
to talk? Well, I can
I'll
go
go get some beers.
Okay. I'm going to go over the history of cities, okay? Okay, when cities first developed, let's say we talk about Philadelphia originally. It was the early 1700s. It was began as New Sweden. There were people around there. Hey, can you get me a short bourbon too? Bourbon? Yeah, it's good for my throat. So, do we have any listeners? No, I don't have any changes coming up. You started having settlers. It was right near a freshwater port on the Delaware River, and people started settling into Philadelphia. It became a city of tradesmen, and the larger it got, you got more people coming, and you had people like doctors, lawyers, newspapers, obviously before they had seen.
With the Capital One Savor Card, you earn 4% cash back on dining and entertainment.
Does that include dinner at that new French place?
Yep, 4% cash back there.
How about bowling with my friends?
Yeah, 4% cash back on that too.
Nice.
And that'll be a rewarding weekend. Because with the Capital One Savor Card, you earn 4% on dining and entertainment. So when you go out, you cash in. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Capital One Bank, USA, N.A.
At Domino's, we're more than pizza, so mix it up with our specialty chicken, stuffed cheesy bread, sandwiches, pastas, medium two-topping pizzas, and more for just $5.99 each, and we'll mix stand-up comedy with a robot.
Stuffed cheesy bread and my act have a lot in common. They're both super cheesy. Tough crowd.
You can also mix it up with Domino's salads, marbled cookie brownie, bread twist, and medium two-topping pizzas. Order any two or more for just $5.99 each. 2-item minimum. Bone-in wings, handmade pan pizza, and bread bowl pasta will be extra. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.